All right, welcome to another episode. Today we'll be reviewing WWE's week rumor roundup following Survivor Series fallouts from this past week. Survivor Series laid the seeds for some major storylines, and we saw it with Goldberg crushing Brock Lesnar. Actually, the week started with NXT TakeOver in Toronto. There was a very telling result when Samoa Joe regained the NXT Heavyweight Championship from Nakamura, which tells me maybe they don't have plans for Samoa Joe to jump to the main roster. The standard tradition that WWE has used is whenever the champion is on his way out going to the main roster, he'll drop the title and leave. So it tells me maybe he's not coming. So does this mean Nakamura is coming to the main roster? Possibly. If he does come, it'll be at the Royal Rumble at the earliest. And like I said in my previous video, if and when there is a call up from NXT, there needs to be a plan in place for the NXT call up to get a push and succeed. Otherwise, they'll get lost. And someone as popular as Nakamura needs to be inserted into, needs to be given a main push. He's very popular. Hopefully, that popularity from Japan and NXT will translate to the main roster. It's not always guaranteed. It's a funny thing. Sometimes on the main roster, the live audience doesn't react as you would expect. But moving forward, that was a pretty decent takeover event. The Bobby Roode Ty Dillinger match was very good. We had Asuka versus returning Mickey James. That was good. It was as always. The Revival. They always put on a really good show. The fans are always left happy. Survivor Series. We saw the 5-on-5 matchup with Raw vs SmackDown. We saw hints, and we saw what they teased to be a Shield reunion. Dean Ambrose almost costing the SmackDown team the victory, as he couldn't. He got eliminated early, and he kept fighting with AJ Styles, his teammate, and then he actually came back and teamed up with the Raw stars of his former Shield members of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and they triple powerbombed AJ onto the announce table. And I think this was to they want. Sometimes WWE will do this to see reactions. They want to see how the fans react. So maybe if they're on the fringe of whether they should go with something, they want to see how they react. But I mean, a lot of people do want to see Shield reunion. Right now, it's impossible because Dean Ambrose is on SmackDown and Seth Rollins is on, and Roman Reigns are on Raw. And what would a Shield reunion do at this point? It's it's been done and been there, done that. Right now, they have big plans, big singles plans for Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns on Raw. It would really take away from them if they did do a Shield reunion. The only way they could do that is if SmackDown and Raw make a trade, which it's been another hot rumors of late of fans arguing and debating about trades that should be made because of underutilized stars on each brand, specifically on Raw. Everybody's got a beef, and a legitimate one, about Sami Zayn. He's a very popular wrestler, but he's been lost in the shuffle. I predicted that was going to happen outside of his feud with Kevin Owens. Once he got out of that, what was that? What is that? What would they have for him to do? He really might be. I hope he doesn't. He doesn't go down as just being known for his feud with Kevin Owens. I mean, he's a very talented wrestler. when he gets promoted in the right way, he is very, very popular. Fans get behind him; they like him. But right now, not so much as far as being pushed in that way. He's been he got he was featured on Survivor Series on the Interbrand Intercontinental title match versus the Miz. He lost. I didn't think he would win because that would mean he would have had to take he would have took the Intercontinental title to Raw. That would have left SmackDown with no secondary title. And in one of my other videos, I said maybe if that happens, he could have the following night on Raw, if he would have won the Intercontinental title, he could have cut a promo and quit Raw and jumped to SmackDown as the Intercontinental Champion, citing that he was underused and underappreciated by Raw, and Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon promised him that they would feature him as the star that he should be. But it's all speculation. That's what this is. It's fun. It's fun to speculate about trades. The one good thing that the brand split does provide is for fans to speculate, and then it's flexibility. They can do trades in the future. They could write them as storylines to make trades. I know people are dying for guys like Cesaro to jump to SmackDown. Yeah, that SmackDown is more geared towards a wrestler like Cesaro, which SmackDown traditionally has been known as the more in-ring action and wrestling brand throughout its history. Raw is more of the storytelling and the glitz and the glamour. But anyway, we saw on Survivor Series another storyline that they highlighted. There was a tension between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. They even teased that Bray Wyatt would brainwash Strowman again and get him to fight for the Wyatt family. That didn't happen, as he turned on Bray Wyatt and chokeslammed him. But the other guy now, Randy Orton, that was probably the last guy we would ever think of joining Bray Wyatt. It looks good. It's coming off well so far as him as part of the Wyatt family. I like that little promo he cut where he said, "The devil has always whispered in my ear," and they look good. They look good. They look good together. They could do something if they're not going to promote push Bray Wyatt as a singles as a guy who wrestler who wins. He's always losing. Let him do that. Let him use that supernatural gimmick that's part of his character to bring in stars that are getting lost. That could do well, but you're always waiting for Randy Orton to snap out of it and RKO Bray Wyatt. So that could be that's always in there, and they could do that. But they'll be featured in TLC at the next pay-per-view, SmackDown, and we'll talk about that. So let's talk about Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, the match that shocked the wrestling world and has been talked about. The long-awaited rematch, the long-awaited return for Goldberg after 12 years. He came in and he squashed Brock Lesnar. And now news is coming out that it was indeed Brock Lesnar's idea for the finish and for the match to be squashed. In real life, outside of wrestling, Goldberg and Brock are said to be very good friends. So obviously Brock has no problem putting over Goldberg, especially for the right pay. Because Brock says many times he's not a mark for himself or for the business. All he cares about is a good pay. But I mean, he'll put somebody over if it makes sense. Which leads me. This is the following night. There was a major announcement by Goldberg. He came out and he teased that this was his last match. But then Stephanie talked to him and said, "Do you have one more title run in you?" And Goldberg said, "Hell yeah." So he announced he would enter the Royal Rumble next year, 2017, which now this has major implications in the storylines. One thing it tells me is that Brock, all roads led to Brock, after he beat The Undertaker and how he was built up, was to have a rematch with Roman Reigns and put Roman Reigns over. So maybe this tells me that Brock told Vince or Triple H or Stephanie that he didn't want to put over, or he was not going to put over Roman Reigns in a rematch. So maybe that's why they shifted to Goldberg. So maybe now Goldberg later on will face Roman Reigns, and maybe Goldberg will put over Roman Reigns, which I don't like. I don't think Roman Reigns deserves to beat Goldberg, not with the reaction he's getting. I've ranted so many times. Roman Reigns, he gets booed every week. He gets booed out of the building. The WWE has force fed him down the fans' throats for the last 3 years. Much like John Cena, Roman Reigns is even labeled as Cena 2.0. He beats everybody, and the fans keep booing, and it's not working. Of course, they'll never turn Roman Reigns heel, but just tell that with Goldberg entering the Royal Rumble, is he going to win the Royal Rumble? Is Brock Lesnar maybe going to cost Goldberg to lose the Royal Rumble, setting up their third match, a rematch at WrestleMania? They could go a number of ways. Does Goldberg win the Royal Rumble and face the champion at WrestleMania? Who will be the champion? There's a rumor that Brock Lesnar will face Kevin Owens for the Universal title at Royal Rumble, which would set up the Goldberg Lesnar rematch at WrestleMania for the Universal title. They could go many ways. Another seed planted from the Survivor Series. We saw Shane, who injected himself as the fifth man, and he actually suffered. He got knocked out briefly when he did the Man Terminator, which is when he jumps from the top rope from one side of the ring to the other side. And Roman speared him. It wasn't really Roman's fault, but I guess the force and the speed of Shane jumping, his head hit the mat. He briefly got knocked out. You can see it. I don't think that was a work. He was knocked out. I don't think they didn't report a concussion, but the referees eliminated him. The medical staff attended to Shane, and you could see he was woozy. He had glass eyes. You can't. He's not that good of an actor, Shane. But Shane, his gimmick now is he's fearless and he's almost reckless at times. But this wasn't so much reckless as in contrast to his other Daredevil moves where he's jumping off cages and jumping off the Titantron. But the other rumor speculation is it's still not off the table of Shane facing Brock at WrestleMania. I don't know about that. I don't think I would like to see that. And Vince McMahon, if you know, he wants star power at WrestleMania. He wants the biggest matchups with the biggest names. So we saw last year with Shane versus Undertaker, it didn't go so well. So I don't think that's going to happen. But somehow, some way, maybe Shane will get involved at WrestleMania somehow. But now on SmackDown, we saw James Ellsworth. This guy's not going away. In fact, he was awarded by Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. He was awarded a SmackDown Live contract. In actuality, they said he was the MVP of Survivor Series because he helped eliminate Braun Strowman. If you didn't see it, Ellsworth was hiding underneath the ring, and he grabbed Braun Strowman's ankle. He held on to it, and then that caused them to eliminate him. And he had a ladder match for the contract versus AJ Styles. And again, he beat, because of Dean Ambrose, Ellsworth beat AJ Styles again. And I haven't really said much about Ellsworth. He debuted as a jobber in the squash match on Raw versus Braun Strowman. He got popularity. He's been with the WWE for a while. He was part of the what's that thing called? Adam Rose's entourage. He was, when they all came into the ring, he was part of them, along with Braun Strowman, actually. But I don't like this. I mean, I know AJ Styles. He's willing to put over Ellsworth, and AJ Styles is such a great wrestler that he can put over James Ellsworth, who James Ellsworth, his skill is not near AJ Styles. He is what he is, James Ellsworth. He's a skinny guy who in WWE he looks like a jobber. He is a jobber, but I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that too much. AJ losing again to James Ellsworth. And you say, why? Would John Cena lose to James Ellsworth 3 times? Would Roman Reigns lose to James Ellsworth 3 times? Would The Undertaker lose to James Ellsworth 3 times? I say, oh, Frank, well, AJ Styles isn't John Cena or The Undertaker or Reigns. Okay, I understand, but he's the WWE champion. Why is it that anybody besides John Cena and Roman Reigns, they can't be booked as dominant champions? Look at Kevin Owens. What's happening with him at Raw as the Universal Champion? He can't win a match by himself. He always has to have help. Triple H has to help him win. Chris Jericho has to help him win every match. He can't win by himself. That's a big gripe. Fans see that. That's why they have disdain for Roman Reigns. But we'll see. So now, moving on, TLC, they only have 2 weeks to prepare from Survivor Series to TLC. It's going to be a quick build-up. That's why I think they did a lot of angles on Survivor Series, at Survivor Series. Quick rundown: they're going to have Becky Lynch, the female women's champion, on Smackdown versus Alexa Bliss. More fan gripes about Becky Lynch. She has not been presented in the same way as Charlotte. So I don't think Alexa Bliss will win. I think Becky Lynch will take it. But I don't know. Everybody needs to stop complaining. I know some people, they have their favorites, but not everybody could be presented as the top person. Then another throwaway match. We saw Luke Harper returning at Survivor Series. He coming back from injury. I always thought Luke Harper was the best wrestler from the Wyatt family. As a matter of fact, he's the only one who's ever won a title from the Wyatt family. He had a brief run with the Intercontinental Championship. So I like Luke Harper, but again, all these matchups versus Kane. Is he going to even beat Kane, or is Kane going to beat Luke Harper? This is what I mean. Kane is old. He's been old. He's been tired. His character's been played out for almost 6, 7, 8, 9 years now. Luke Harper needs to go over on Kane. If they're gonna make the Wyatt family serious, Luke Harper has to go over on Kane. Enough of this. What good does it do for Kane to beat Luke Harper at this point? Jeez. You're gonna have Baron Corbin versus Kalisto. No, Kalisto. He's been an afterthought since he won the U.S. title. They didn't use him as strong as a U.S. title holder as they did with Cena. Baron Corbin, another guy. He's I don't know what to make of him. I'm usually very good at seeing talent and wrestlers right away. I don't know what to make of him. I don't know if he's any good or not. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with him. His character needs to be developed more. you're gonna have another women's match, Nikki Bella versus Natalia. The angle here is pretty clear. Nikki Bella was knocked out. They didn't show who did it, but it's all signs are pointing that it was Natalia who did it. So again, who cares? Who cares? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not disrespecting the female division, but who cares? Next, you're gonna have the tag team championships. Slater and Rhino versus. I'm reading this from a site. They're going to be going up against Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Again, like I said before, I like the idea of Randy Orton as part of the Wyatt family. It's a good character change for Randy Orton. He's best. He's at Randy Orton's at his best when he goes into that dark heel character. I think. Will they beat Slater and Rhino? I don't know. If Survivor Series was any indication, maybe finally they give a title to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, at least as transitional champions, because everybody wants to see American Alphas get that gold on SmackDown. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I don't know. If you're betting it, I don't know. It tells me that Slater and Rhino are going to hold on to their titles. Nothing tells me that Bray Wyatt and Orton are going to come out of this with the titles. Something goofy will happen that'll cost Bray Wyatt and Orton. Who knows? It could be that Randy Orton just is going to RKO Bray Wyatt. As it always seems that way. It seems that he could snap and just RKO Bray Wyatt. He's only playing along with this. And then we're going to have the IC title match. We're going to have another Miz versus Ziggler match. This is going to be a ladder match. It'll be good, very good, entertaining match. I think, come on. Oh, my God. This Dolph versus The Miz was played out 6 years ago. I mean, geez. Can we get a different matchup? I know it's a rush pay-per-view, but come on. Jeez. And finally, we're going to have the WWE Championship match. Again, this feud needs to end. AJ Styles versus Ambrose. I don't see Dean Ambrose sniffing the title. Rumor is AJ Styles is going to hold it to WrestleMania, if not past WrestleMania. There's a rumor AJ Styles is going to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Who knows? But I want to see this. I want to see AJ Styles get out of this feud with Dean Ambrose and James Ellsworth. What's going to happen? I don't know. Probably that little jerk James Ellsworth is going to try and interfere to help Ambrose, and he's going to somehow, some way, he's going to cost Dean Ambrose. I hope so. I'm going to make if Dean Ambrose wins the WWE Championship because of James Ellsworth, I'm going to make a video where I'm going to go nuclear. I'm going to become unglued if that happens. So I think that's going to wrap it up. Before just the thought of that is I'm going to blow a gasket. Thank you for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I have a lot of videos. I'm building this channel. I hope I'm going in the right direction. With your help, leave your comments and like and subscribe. Thank you.